Hello everyone and welcome to another match of the 2022 Roulette Rivals World Championship. It is just 1 minute and 10 seconds to midnight here in Central Europe, and the 24th and final day of the group stage is about to begin. Still about 6, 7, 8 places to be filled for the final 32, but it won't be decided on this match because Blithe is going for winning Group C, and Rommel is playing his final match of the group stage, if I'm not mistaken, but he will not be advancing from this group. But he can play for his pride, and Blithe can play to preserve his perfect win rate. We will talk about the point situation to winning Group C in between maps, but we will have, as always, 3 maps to play. First Mumbai, which is going to be, well, not, I want to say it's a long one, but can't be, of course, longer than 30 minutes, and if anything, then we can see it from the win rates of these players that they are very much familiar with how Mumbai should go. Of course, it's hard to say if it can go below the map record here, 7:02 by Dunny, but there's always a chance for a nice sub 10 or even better times there. First spin is Wazir Kali, explosive weapon as Queen's Guard, Vanya Shah is Fall as the Kashmirian, and Dao Jengen is Loud Shotgun as Queen's Bodyguard. So once I figure out which Diana do I want to hear later on in this match, which will be Rommel's by the way, he should be getting going with a not too difficult disguise assortment. Queen's Guard and Bodyguard is obviously free from the brick ISO, and the Kashmirian is a nice little chip to the Charles, combined with a nice little kill for Vanya, which has been banned for good part of RR history, but I think it has been unbanned for a long time after it has been established that the Metal Workers Forge is a lethal dump and therefore a 4 kill. Blithe is in first with the all-important Skywalk start. It is late me as well, and the free Queen's Guard, which is going to be to the right in that little box of light grey area on Blithe's minimap, will contain a free Queen's Guard outfit, and I think we might see the first kill before the 45-second mark, or Blithe may just spend some extra time here or even decide to get the kill later on. It really doesn't matter. It's going to be quite easy regardless. Rommel is quite frankly pushed around by these NPCs. We do not condone cyberbullying of any kind, but it seems Rommel is having some difficulties here. Of course, he wants the Holy Man to be in front, and ideally you can get his no enforcer disguise, but Rommel will be saving this one. This was a last ditch attempt to secure the disguise, but he will get this no enforcer version of the basically default suit. But yeah, Rommel cutting it close, but gets away, and that is not on my end because I have 0 drop frames. Blithe, this is all your fault, but hopefully his frames do get better. He's from Germany after all. We like to meme about that. It can cause not so perfect streams. Hello Yanni. So it is two Wazir setups, but no Wazir kills. As I said before, it's such a non-issue to get Queen's Guard. It can be done at the 1 minute mark or the 5 minute mark or even a 9 minute mark upon exiting. So we are going to proceed with the rest of the spin. The H for Blithe starts with getting the Kashmirian and just transporting it closer to the brick area, and we can see Blithe already has the brick in his hands and will be just using it for any pot. I think it should be just the one near Vanya. Also much easier, although Blithe can get a better timing in this one, and he is entering the slums, so he can get an earlier timing.
The infamous Maelstrom is dead.
As Rommel gets the first kill on the non-free but still quite easy Queen's Guard, and the other Queen's Guard is sitting back down, so it will be a bit hard to get with an angle. Running out of time there as Blithe used the earlier version of the metalworker spot. It's inside the slums. So it's not... Timings are going to be harder if you're not practicing it, but Blithe is obviously familiar with this situation as with most Mumbai timings. You'll be getting a couple extra melee items, and after getting the 2 Queen's Guards out of the way, so you'll be even less waiting for the German. Rommel is yet to use a brick here.
Go find out.
And I think he wants to get rid of these guards as well for some reason. I'm trying to think of a different fall opportunity here, but I think you cannot skip the part that you need the bricks for this spin, especially for Dawood, even though he's allowed kill. So I'm just interested to see what Rommel is trying here. My previous cast, I think it will be, like, it won't be the previous cast in any playlist or anything, but David Restox versus Hashashin had loud SMG Vanya, but unfortunately David got a 4 kill from inside the chain yard, from a 2-feet drop, literally. Which is far from ideal, far from meta, but something to think about for in chain yard kill opportunities, as Rommel is still roaming around and looking for some elevation, any elevation at this point, because Vanya is still sitting and it's looking like a long infiltration for Rommel and a long jank for Blithe, but that is as expected. The Blicker has been initiated, everyone KO'd around Vanya. Last but not least, her of course, and this will be the lethal dump to get his 2nd kill of Mumbai. For Rommel, I could imagine that it would be similar area as seen with David, so it would be next to the evidence box, but I'm just quite not sure where Rommel will be going here, because he has all the items and the disguises, and it's the same disguise that what he has. If he's looking for a Queen's Bodyguard for better access, he would have to go through deeper inside after the guards KO'd last, so it is just really hard to say where Rommel will continue with this one, as Blithe is just so set, so streamlined here. No snail, but I think that is the agency pickup right in front of him. Yep, it just has that circular shape of a hidden stash. But he's just seconds too late for the regular snail eye. So remember, this is a loud kill, so won't ever be quite straightforward, but I think Blithe would have loved to be there 15 seconds earlier, so by this time Dawood and his 3 guards are down. These 2 KOs will still be mandatory though, and I think we'll have to see some later Dawood timing, as Rommel is on a long pause, and I need to check if any of the chats relay anything back. Rommel may have been just surprised by the 4 kill itself. I can't think of anything, because he has the shotgun, and it turns red by trespassing. Because he had the shotgun and he knows how to get a Queen's Bodyguard. It's really simple, straightforward part of Mumbai, as Blithe will have to do anything but simple and straightforward. Yeah, he's not happy about missing this one. He wanted to be just there, KOing all those NPCs, but if he's quick enough, I mean, I think that's a bit optimistic on my side. I wanted to say if he's quick enough, that he could get all those lures inside, but he also lost the crowbar. He cannot enter the room, he cannot enter the beach house. And he has dragged, or he has gotten the wrong thug here, the one who doesn't have the key. I mean, just what do you do here? It's I think it's pretty much over for the lure, but it's still frustrating because this is Blithe's last kill, and you could always see a Hail Mary here and This won't be found by anyone unless the food vendor, so if the food vendor is KO'd, but scratch that, there are both of these food vendors still up and running. This will be really hard to contain. The thugs will be fine upstairs unless we have extended lockdowns. Well, I say that as they still turn towards here. I don't see the question mark. Okay, they aren't coming. But without a melee item, what will Blithe do here? This is just such an awkward situation. I imagine if this begins a lockdown, but it's a searching without question mark. The body will be found any second now. And yeah, it was the thug who in the end went to investigate. Such an unfortunate turn of events for Blithe, from getting the wrong thug to losing the crowbar inside. Of course, starting this with being late for the snail ISO. And for minutes and minutes it seemed like he could contain it, but sadly it has to be a restart. So, after taking a breather, we can now see what Rommel will be doing with his 2.5 minute lead. It's just such a particular way of roaming around the area. I'm still not sure if Rommel is fine with the 4 kill opportunities. And I'm still not exactly sure what might be stopping him. Going up and down, which just could indicate this elevation changes, that he's looking for some lethal dumps or drops. But now he's inside in a chest pass in disguise. Not wanting to use a brick here, not wanting to get a Queen's bodyguard from outside. I guess this is the alternative, having to get from here. And this isn't too far away from potential peekaboo for Vanya, but it's just so not viable to get anything here. Oh, unfortunately for Blithe, he's buffering again, or dropping frames. But of course it's just the end of the run, the start of the run rather, with the same Maelstrom ISO into Kashmirian grab. Rommel will be going further inside the Vanya compound. And we'll be luring that Queen's guard, but that won't be any problem other than the fact that he's an enforcer, but can still dodge him. And I think we won't be far away from Rommel reaching the evidence room and a Queen's bodyguard, which I think we will see very shortly if he wanted the disguise or something else. That's a gold disguise which he can't really see from instinct, and he's looking up and down, so it could be once more that some sort of 4 kills on his mind. But it's not like anyone in chat has a better idea. I think we're all just unsure about Rommel's next move at this point. You know what Blithe's next moves will be, of course. The brick inside the... I assume it's still the riskier one, or the one with the better timings. To of course lure Vanya and then Dawood. It's just going to be a bit tighter. And yeah, Observer also feels like it's the fact that Rommel doesn't remember or doesn't know the metalworker pot for Vanya could just make this a much harder kill. But Rommel can think about the second kill in the meantime. That's also a good point from Reaper, and I would say so myself that Rommel is an old school player with many more experience from the late 2020 and the 2021 era, so you would imagine that he did start in the 2020 World Cup, and then RR4, 5 and 6 was his most active days. And as I said before, the Vanya fall wasn't always a legal kill, and we had to take some time to ensure that players do find this skill intuitive. Because, well, for me, for me a condition is fine if you can give it to a rookie and he can solve it, and the fact that Vanya is usually solved by the metalworker spot just doesn't rank a good kill here, but I think it's been added to the F7SC rules there as map specific info that it can be done, which I think made it much more viable to get this kill. So yeah, with the lack of a snail as well, that's also a good catch, Reaper. We will have to see some old school ISOs. And I would be hard pressed to say, I'm not exactly sure what the old Dawood ISOs were. Because I remember one for Throat with a Seeker and 2 Tranks to move Dawood to where the to where the food vendor just stands and smokes around, and that's 2 KOs of course, and then the last pacification and Dawood himself, but it's of course very loadout heavy. Not that the shotgun was really needed here, so it's probably just penthouse tower for Dawood on Rommel's side, and Blithe can try the snail again. I think the timings are a bit better, mostly because Blithe simply just didn't do the Vanya kill, which I think will be very valuable for real-time purposes. It's a less risky version, and now it's straightforward 2022 strats here. I'm not sure if this was found this year. I think it was late last year, but it doesn't matter. The lure on the food vendor, and oh my, those trio are exploring up and down the area, but with the right timing. Oh my god, one of the dudes is not coming. I'm not sure if he will be in range, and yeah, that's only catching 3 of the 4 and no Tranks remaining. Oh, I'm not sure if Blithe is looking at the last one. Yeah, luckily he did, but oh. Is there an angle there? Oh, but unconscious witness, that the unconscious witness had to be from the Bollywood bodyguard that's run over, right? Even though that it's not orange. Now it's bullet impact, but I think the bullet impact should be fine. I'm just really worried the fact that it says unconscious witness, because that popped up before the Dawood KO.
Congratulations, Mr. Rangan.
Thank you, my friend. Huh? Better luck.
And of course this is the loud kill. Regardless, I'm worried about Blithe's situation here.
It's Rangan. No,
But
no, in fact, I need you to burn.
Can't really blame him. If it's not orange, then just keep going. It's actually contradictory information, because who else would be the unconscious witness than the last Bollywood guard? If he's not orange, then why wouldn't you keep going?
It's going to be great, Niles. Well, you say that now.
I think I want to predict that this won't turn green, but we will know right now,
I don't really care, Niles.
because this will be followed
Take it up with
by a
Malik.
quick dump in here,
I'm telling you.
That
depending on the
Star
cycles of the barge guards.
producer of media
Distraction will have the process. As Rommel is also looking at Dawood kill, we didn't talk about him for a good few minutes, but Dawood has made his way to the penthouse. And all the necessary pacifications have been done here. Rommel definitely gets the green gun kill. I'm not sure about the same for Blithe, who is still waiting while Rommel gets the non-trespass in disguise, and not a lot of searching, but he's sandwiched between 2 enforcers. Rommel gets out of the area. As Blithe still has these troubles, I don't know if those cycles will work out for him. Because that is sort of a proxy. You need to trigger something there by proxy. Okay, no, Blithe has got the cycles and has everything ready for this kill, but he's still red after. And yep, there's the stoppage there. Blithe's not sure either, and I had to stop for a second myself if for any reason we just missed Vanya being the unconscious witness, but no, it had to have been the last of the Bollywood bodyguards.
My cousin lives in
Maybe he's a traveling salesman or something. Those suitcases-
47. This is one of the Mumbai chores.
Quite devastating there for Blithe, and will have implications for the group if Rommel can clutch this one out, but we still don't know if he has the Vanya kill down.
Might be worth looking into.
I have Rommel as a person who will look it up on YouTube, but I just don't know if Roulette Rivals Vanya 4 kill shows up any results, that it's not the Soldier's execution that Goulet would look up. No, no shame in that, but he's the person to show us physically on his one monitor setup. So I'm just unsure if that will happen. Also, he's just passing here, and of course he's an enforcer. Rommel's not trusting this balcony, which, once again, if you have years worth of experience, I myself remember times when you could get ripped from Kashmirian, but I don't know if it was this game, and certainly not this patch, so may just be best to trust the situation. But Rommel is spending all his time here, which I think makes sense at this point, because at this point we will reach 10 minutes to go and his run has reaching 12 minutes. Oh, what a tongue twister. But what I mean here is that I don't see Rommel getting another restart going. Either this run gets him 2 points, or he will have to hope for 1. He gets a lock on. He gets the KO. But what about Vanya? Did he remember after 20 minutes? Did he look it up in the meantime? Of course he has had substantial loading phases, pausing screens rather. We will have to wait and see, as he and Blithe almost meet each other in the Charles, but at a very different part of the Mumbai spin they are tackling. Brick in inventory, that's positive, since that obviously will only move Vanya at this point. And we kind of really need a brickler for this one. If anyone was watching the David Red Sox match, then I still suggest that there is an alternative. But realistically, we just need that brick to go into the pot. The 4 kills and then 4 KOs rather, and then an extra 2 on these 2 metal workers, but we see no brick just yet, but that's because Rommel went a bit too far. Throws the brick now inside, and with 8:11 to go, the final part of this spin should really get started now. These Queen's guards have been sleeping for the better part of 13 minutes, because not much has happened between the start and these KOs. The first kill was happening because of them, and Rommel is just really set on KOing these 2, but that's a lure on Rima. Now, is this intentionally genius or unintentionally just great, or is it something that makes the spin harder? Because that lure on Rima will surely change up the quartet's move. And I'm pretty sure that the question mark will carry on for longer. And yep, that's still her outside. Rommel might be missing the good timing for Vanya.
watch it.
Quite strange.
Very charming.
Just waiting here to see what happens to Rima. As I'm also reading Observer's comment, I think that must be the solution, that Rommel, of course without a snail, just didn't quite, oh my god, just didn't quite trust the Dawood kill near the beach house. That would require so many bodies being dragged and maybe even hidden. And that just sounds like a very sensible solution, as Rommel gets the last KO there, starts a lockdown on Vanya, but There's no troubles there. And Blithe using... I want to say that he did use a Chang there, but what mattered there is the Rima got found. Okay, wait, so no, we are going back. So I missed the point there.
Tossing crap around and show yourself.
There are just too many chaos for my own good. Too easy to miss all of them, and this is a really important silent attack for Rommel, but... Okay, so after all this, Blithe is getting the correct kill. Kashmiri and 4 for Vanya, going back to the early timing. Just wasn't sure about the body being found, but I'm not sure if the guards were in view of anything, and yep. It could have gone either way, I think, for Blithe as well. But got the green guns back, 5:30 to go, and just 1 kill with Snail still in effect, still to be used. But if it wasn't for Rommel, might be seeing a Blithe finish, because reaching the 17-minute mark, Rommel is now with a long jack to the metal pot. There's the dump to eliminate Vanya shot, the last kill as we turn red, final 5 minutes.
Excellent.
Not enough coins for the taxi, so it has to be the fish exit. Well, not quite fish exit, it's the river with the fishes next to it. And yeah, there you go for Silver, who was asking about the Vanya kill. This is the way you do it, very intuitive, I know, but the way to do it, and the way to win Mumbai after. What a back and forth as Blithe rips at the same time to the thugs. So in the end, at least it's poetic that both of the runs finished at the same time.
Score 2.
Troublesome spin, with Rommel taking the lead. But we are out of Mumbai and onto a much shorter and hopefully more forgiving place with just the 1 target of Athena Savalas in New York. Hell yeah, observers happy, I myself am happy. So let's celebrate with no briefings, but the group standings. I do want to celebrate, yeah, then they will let me. This is a done group, by the way. And don't let the lack of advanced and eliminated signs fool, but we can just run it down that Rommel and Goulet are on 6 points with 1 match to go. Rocky is on 12 with all 7 played. So technically, you would say that if Rommel or Goulet were to sweep their last matches, they could do well against Rocky in the tiebreaker. However, Rocky has 4 wins here, but I think it's because 2 of them. Yes, this group has 2 forfeits, Genevam and Exotic. Yeah, wait, Exotic? Did Exotic finish or not? No, I'm not exactly sure. Exotic did drop out. Okay, let us clear that point. But Rocky's other 2 wins came against Rommel and Goulet. So even with a sweep from Rommel, that only ties Rocky, but Rocky takes the head-to-head. I think it was one of the big upsets of the group stage that Rocky will advance from Group C to the final 32 behind Ebra, Blithe and Zirun. As far as the top 4 is concerned, as I'm checking, oh, we got plenty of time until New York, so plenty of time for me to babble on. Of course, what is really exciting here is the fight for first place, and Ebromedi and Blithe will still play tomorrow to decide who wins the group. And we can see that Blithe has a game on hand, but is 3 points behind. So the best case scenario for him right now is to lead the group by 1, ahead of Ebromedi. And of course, from that point, then whoever wins the match wins the group. If Rommel were to win more maps here, then we can reach a situation where Ebra can afford to drop 2 maps, but can't be swept, or some extra situations. But realistically, Blithe will score some points here, and then we go to tomorrow, and the winner of Evra versus Blithe will win the group. And I can't see a world. Yes, there is a world where Zirun finishes anywhere but 3rd. He has Goulet to play, so should Ebra or Blithe end up with not too many points, a 0 sweep or a 0 good result can shake up the order. But this is basically as much as we can say with 3 matches to go. We have the first confirmed finished group with Group H, but a lot to play for still in Group C. Alright then, back on New York, and as is tradition, at this point 90% of the players just do a whole New York spin, and it is always going to be security guard, I think in hopes of getting a shot at breaking that 215, which is the current record. Wouldn't be the only way to beat the record. If anyone remembers the RR9 final where Sonny tried but ultimately failed, a investment banker injected poison spin, which involved the stock crash exit and just crashing the stocks altogether. Which I think caps out around the 1 minute 30 mark. Could be even lower in game time wise. But if you imagine that you're ready for the spin, or if your loading is quick, if your PC can handle it, then those type of spins can definitely break the 2 minute barrier. The current 215 is, though, literally just next snap as security guard, so other than some extra strats, it's the jackpot, the Jolly Joker, and that's probably how the one target maps will converge to a final solution. The Dartmoor record of 136 from Fenium was PI falling object, but that has been beaten since then as well by Joker. He first tied it with some other spin and then untied it to 127 with I can't even see right now, but by the time I look it up, we will go to the next spin.
Prepare yourself.
But I'm just curious to see if it's
10 seconds. 9, 8,
going to be
7, 6,
some that challenges the record or some that challenges the patience, and it will be the patience. Consume poison as high security guard. So it is not the shortest in game time, but it is in fact the longest in game time spin here. Yeah, I think you got it right there, Jotes. Like, the next snap animation could be shorter by the lack of animation, but we will have a lot of animations here. Waiting for Athena, waiting for a cycle and to drink and to die. At least the disguise won't be difficult. You just start with any disguise. Preferably security guard to get the first disc. And then the second one, and then set up Athena.
This is the vault 47.
And once she dies, you get the last disc and the CEO key to exit. It's very chat-like the way I approach this one, but this is a spin where you have to be in as soon as possible. But it's still far from a free kill. There's enough setup going on there. Blithe and Rommel, correct disguises, correct loadouts rather, except that Rommel doesn't have the keys, he has to go the long way around. He can go the long way around, but there is one more enforcer to dodge. It's not quite a Run Reaper, but it is even more difficult if you end up restarting. And I think Blithe will be really solid on this one. I think one time before one of his matches, it had to have been the Goulet match, because Goulet is the person here to pick New York. But I was watching him just absolutely nail the Consume Poison kill, so this is a muscle memory type of thing. And I don't really imagine it should go too wrong, especially with the high security guard disguise. It is the quickest way to get up there as security. And you can stay in the non-chess pass in disguise. You could even... I think that's too much to ask for, but you could get the CEO beforehand. But you are hostile in the private chamber regardless. And Blithe is not looking to get any cards from inside. He's looking to get a, well, it's not going to be a chainer, but a two-part lure on this couch guard, still high security. And that absolutely clears the area. This seems like a bit of an exposed KO, but actually other than Tim. No one
Data
is
core
around
should be
this
behind
area.
that large steel door.
And that's probably the last disguise exchange Blithe will have to do on this map.
That's the first backup data disk secured. 2 more
Important
to locate.
to use the coins to move these guards and delay Athena, or not delay, to accelerate her cycle, because once she sits down, that's the one part of her cycle which she will just skip. Now, of course, if we were going for frame perfection, this question mark from Athena would matter for a few seconds, but of course, little does Blithe know he has all the time in the world. 2-minute lead almost, compared to Rommel, who had some enforcement battles. Blithe is fine with the illegal action, and now the bottle is all legal, and I think there is just nothing else to do than wait. However, that is the director's Wi-Fi used, and Blithe wouldn't be using this if he wasn't confident that this turns Athena back.
Okay.
Will that turn her back? Because that's interesting to see. I mean, okay, I guess I got as well. Or maybe it does speed her up a bit, but I just saw her sit down in the chair, which I don't think matters. Don't think it means that she will be any quicker to get to the bottle. But it was a good shout there, and I still think there are some triggers to explore in her long and complicated cycle, but they still allowed Blithe to get the second disc. And after the monologue, well, with the Wi-Fi off, I still think that the next step should be the bottle. And I mean, it's just kind of neat for Blithe, who has some troubles because one guard is turning back and you don't want too many of them nearby, because when the boss is down, I think even if it's accidental, you can get some enforcer dots after a while. Either when she's being body bagged or when she's called in. And only the main guard is the enforcer here. Can grab the last disc, and we'll get the CEO keycard as well. So Blithe, as close to perfect as it's possible, 5.5 minutes into the run, out of the trespassing area, out of the view of the last enforcer guard, and this is a non-issue, and he's also not enforcing anymore. Blithe finished, Blithe out. You will refresh him, of course, in due course, but very nice New York to win and tie the match going into the decider.
Score 2-2.
And it seems we will have some more. Well, if New York was to observe in my liking, then I would imagine that Yanni is happy to see this last map of the match. Haven Island hype it is indeed. And I think we did see it from the group standings that it's not all too consequential. Blithe will have his chances to top the group even if he loses. And now I wonder if it works the other way around. If Blithe were to win the map and then still get swept. I mean, but we are just talking about very much extremes here on tomorrow's match, and ideally we just want to get the result for this match known, because this is just the prelude to tomorrow's Blithe vs Abramedi for the group win. But I think both will be motivated to take this map, of course. Rommel's last map of the tournament. And I think we have seen some people on their final match go out with a bang. And beating Blithe would be quite the result from Rommel. trying to get some stats out here in the meantime, because, well, when in doubt, just rrstats.currymaker.net. Rommel is yet to win Haven, but it's not like he's yet to play Haven in the tournament. He has a Haven tie against Abra and a Haven loss against Rune. So the recent experience won't make him any uncomfortable here. I'm also interested to see Blithe's results here. Also, what pops out for me is, oh, of course, the streak is now over, but Blithe did have 3 6-0 wins in a row, so it was 9 maps. Which is actually his tied longest streak of map wins. Oh. As I'm kicking over the microphone, hopefully not too loud, not in a too loud manner. Oh yeah, I can still check out Haven Island. No Haven from this tournament from Blithe. There's a couple from RR9. I do want to say that I played and lost to him in there, but it had to be R7, yeah. That's way longer in the past. As for the recent Havens from Blithe, he beat Haven in there. No, Haven beats everyone. He beat Melon in R9 and they lost to Pijero. Which was a really exciting 7-5 result. Probably the match of the tournament, which included the Ambrose tie and then whatever happened in Dartmoor and New York. Something to watch back for matches of the past, but this is a match of the present. Wow, what a tying together of these monologues, but there is Haven now. Tyson Williams, Screwdriver, Doctor, Stephen Bradley, Pistol, Gas Suit, Ludmila Vetchova, Loud Explosive Weapon in the suit, and whatever is happening in the chat. Is there any New York slander I have to put a stop to? There just cannot be a day without hitting on poor small little maps. But at least here's a big 5 to end this match on. The fact that it's suit spin, of course, doesn't matter a lot. It's a loud explosion in the suit, so it realistically ends in the shark hut, taking the swimsuit and then detonating on the main exit, which is the main start. Tyson is an non-trespass in disguise in the name of the Doctor, but I think it's still fine to just start with the Villa ISO, which Blithe starting 10 seconds in front of Rommel. And I think it's just a agility course to get the Steven kill down, because realistically you would get a guard disguise here, probably the bodyguard, and then infiltrate the evidence room for the pistol and the car bomb, and then just make your way all the way down to the gas suit. And if you have the map knowledge, and these players do, they will easily make the 4-minute timing for Steven. Of course, even earlier, then you can just use the bushes for an earlier seeker shot. But that is the prediction, at least. And of course this will feature a later Villa infiltration. Blithe is not using a breacher, not dragging the bodies, most likely because he's aware that the Doctor is not just passing, so don't imagine there will be any troubles getting back to Tyson. There won't be any troubles with the cameras either. The evidence disabled. And the 2 main routes down would include 1, the key card from Villa Staff Start. You can just reach out for a Haven Underground Facility key card or whatever the name it is. But I personally like this one more, even if it takes a couple seconds longer. Just use the hidden door, which is legal as the bodyguard, illegal as the villa guard. And yep, crowbar for... Well, it's not a folding knife spin, so you don't need a crowbar, but coin will be very useful to just move that villa guard as Rommel's pausing. Could be for a gas suit, could be for the stock, for the screwdriver. It's not a hard little melee to get. Of course, Rommel picked up the loud explosion, loud explosive weapon, and he's aware of the suit. Who isn't? Who is playing in Haven? 235 for Blithe when he gets the gas suit. So by 330 he will be next to the Fire X and Steven and the Snorkel Instructor. So looking good for him to start killing. But Rommel left the gas suit.
Okay.
Or chose to start the adventure a bit later, which will cause some interesting timings. Because it's soundproof, Rommel can get the Ludmilla kill earlier, could get a Tyson kill earlier, but still has to go down and back up for a gas suit. So for the moment, Blithe looks more optimized and much worse as far as the frames go. Still nothing we can do about that one. And it's actually a nice minigame to find how many frames can you count when the time is at 340 and at 341. I think it's well below single digits. It's only a problem for Mike, who's adminning this one, but I can just look over to the other side as long as it's happening. Oh, at least for Blithe. Wait, that's not NPCJ, that was just a regular disguise on the on the roof. I thought that was the actual NPC who was floating, but wasn't the case. And well, we still have some troubles here. I just really hope that Blithe doesn't go offline and we don't miss a kill, because otherwise we get into very grey territory as to whether they have proof of the kill or benefit of the doubt or whatnot. But Rommel has the ISO down, and he can get Ludmilla next, he can get the Doctor next, and Ludmilla is just leaving Portman's hut, so it could be nice timing for a Seeker shot. Blithe, though, not a lot behind in terms of Steven shenanigans, and he has the kill down, which is where this advantage comes from. The fact that he went for the gas suit just makes so much difference. And also I think Rommel will want to wait all the way until the restaurant, which will feel like an eternity of waiting. But we have seen with Rommel at the beginning, and I think this lines up so nicely, that he wanted to use the coin to make the Steven Seeker safer. He just probably doesn't have the same confidence to anything with Ludmilla other than this timing, which will cost him some time, but can you really blame him when basically this safe approach won him Mumbai? It might just be the fact that the confidence and the fact that Blithe is yet to reap with most of the hard things out of the way. Probably this other Big 5 map will have a different fate, but
That is Ludmilla Vitrova,
still a lot to go. For example,
confidence artist
a loud kill, which
of Russian descent
will
and current
in
client
fact
handler for Haven.
not be certainly soundproof, with the hand washer still alive and kicking. Part of his cycle will be just one door away from the car bomb. Well, it's not the car bomb here, it's the micro explosive for this spin. But Rommel did pick up the car bomb.
Oh no.
Rommel hit Ludmilla. That was something that we couldn't have been extra sure. And who was it today? Someone did miss it, and we were very sad about it. Kevin, yeah, was on a perfect Haven run, and just Ludmilla just shrugged the Seeker shot off literally and dodged a bullet there. Well, as far as Blithe, nice frames are back, and also of course the remote setup which we've seen, and the successful chain lure, which I'm not sure if the assistant is chained to the doctor himself. It seems like there is not a lot of separation there. She will see the body, surely, but Blithe has still an armada of darts there.
I just got over something from South America.
Chooses to use the iron, of course. She's not a guard, she wants to wake him up. And it's not a really wall-hacky area. This is nice, safe hut for most of the action that you can do here. So I think it's just more hut action for Blithe. Because at this point it would just make more sense to get the loud explosion out of the way, but I think he wants to do an exit kill regardless. This would have been a really nice opportunity to end with the doctor kill and exit with the speedboat. Probably just Blithe being safe here. He's going back and forth. He knows about the hand washer being troublesome here, but look, I don't want to jinx or reverse jinx anything, but if Blithe now looks for the hand washer and in the meantime the hand washer comes back to the bathroom, that would be devastating. But I think what we didn't see is that he thoroughly looked in the instinct and the hand washer was a floor above or minutes away, so we do get the delayed hot action and no searching crucially. So that's one kill remaining for Blithe. I think the fact that Blithe went that close and then looked at the instinct just gives me the idea that he looked vertically towards the top, and of course the other half of the hand washer's cycle is near the tiki bar. So I think he was confident there that he wouldn't infiltrate for another half a minute. The hand washer is now leaving the bathroom. No, that should surely be... No, that was the hand washer. What is going on there? That was another NPC, funnily enough. I think we may never know, but Blithe still needs a
Good work, 47.
screwdriver.
The Rover has been permanently retired.
Kind of an interesting area here. And also, I'm not exactly sure what would be other option for screwdriver. I know there is one the other side of the cinema screen, but if you're blinded and just passing the skies, that would be an even bigger detour. So I think this was the right decision. So Rommel is tackling the doctor as well.
Huh?
And I really hope that he still has strength there.
That was.
He's concealed, so he will get the disguise. Didn't mention the Ludmilla kill, which happened in the meantime in the suit for Rommel as well. But Rommel is still 3, if not 4, 5 minutes away as Blithe gets the last lock on of this match. And of course we know from before that that door can be used. Didn't pick up the speedboat key, but it can still be the seaplane key. Going to add just 10 or so seconds to his route. And after 10.5 minutes in-game time and less than 12 minutes of real-time, Blithe wins the last map and defeats Rommel of the Far East on this final match of Rommel's campaign and the second to last match of Blithe's group stage. GG's. This is almost a 3 kills to 2 score with Rommel having the screwdriver, but he would have still needed to distract this guard. I think it would just be really funny if he used the banana for this, because he's not biting. Oh, he's biting. Nice. But he also broke the screen there, so could have made it a bit easier there.
Tyson Williams
It's fine either way, and I'm just Apologies, Rommel, that we couldn't see out the end of
One more
your
target.
group stage there, but
To go.
very nicely done regardless. And with updated points, we have the current situation. Yeah, Rommel now confirmed to be eliminated. Goulet also confirmed to be eliminated. We just, of course, because of the tie and the 6-point sweep, can't make some assumptions. We can't go that deep in the tiebreaker criteria. Just a lot of coding to do that. However, we have Blithe on 20 points, Ebra on 19. Did I say 19 twice? Blithe 20, Ebra 19. 6 matches played each. Still undefeated, both of them. Both of them with a 100% win rate. Now that will surely be broken tomorrow. One player will have to budge. It is possible that both will tie, in which case the 100% will be no one's, but realistically, we will know who is the winner of Group C, who is the winner of the last match, and who will have the first seed come Monday's bracket draw. Rommel currently in 5th place, which may become 6th. I'm going to check out what Goulet needs for that, because the Rommel versus Goulet match ended with a Rommel win, so Goulet needs 3 points to overtake him. Otherwise, the American will take 5th of this small tiny group with the 2 dropouts, but still great players and of course great plays. This is the end of the busy stint of the Saturday evening games. There is technically one more Saturday late evening match, which is now Sunday dawn for the Europeans. In just over 2 hours, JK Punk will fight for the first seed of Group D. The undefeated Roulette rookie is 6 points away from not just a clean sweep of 7 wins, but taking the first seed away from Observer of Group D, which has been really dominated by these two. Plan Speaker is yet to win a match, so it is likely all in Punk's hands to beat that Observer on the tiebreaker and take that first seed. And then we will have this very exciting Sunday action. Currently 10 matches, but 3 is yet to be scheduled, and there is not a lot of days that those can be played on, so up to 13 to be played. First at 13 CET, which is 7 Eastern Standard Time. Welcome back to the winter timings to Americans and most of the countries. Tinega versus Dakar will start this very crucial day of Sunday. That and T-North versus Pineur is probably the most exciting group possibility that has ever been in any of the World Championships. 36 results, right? I think Blithe is the big statistician for this group stage, and there is just so many combinations, and any two of Dakar, Tinega, T-North and Ashton and Pineur, sorry, can advance. Going to be really exciting for Group D. And then just going to tell you about, which is also very crucial, going to skip a couple of matches as well. Fenio versus Giannini is absolutely huge. The RR9 console champion needs a sweep against the 3-time champion of Giannini to stay in the competition. Then it is Pijero versus Caneta for the Group E win, which I think is also decided by now. I think Caneta is just playing for pride and crossing the 30-point mark, and Pijero is hoping to overtake Rostov for 2nd place, so not exactly a lot going on there. The Time Cube versus some random person will be a match for 3rd and 4th seed of Group F. And I've talked about the Abramedi versus Blithe situation. And I think last but not least, it's an actual do or die situation. 19 CET tomorrow, Jotes versus Danny Buta. Whoever wins the match will stay in the competition, and that means if Danny loses tomorrow, there will not be a championship defended, and that is decided on the last day of the group stage. So it is going to be a huge day, and I hope everyone will be watching as much as they can. I hope the players will be ready for the big plays and the all-important final day of this first half of the tournament. but we need to take some rest now, of course, and whoever can should watch GK Punk vs Plant and get ready for Sunday's action. Once again, I would like to thank the players for playing. GG's to both Blithe and Rommel. Thank you to Mr. Mike for adminning this one, and so everyone for watching, and until next time, see you everyone.